Hello and welcome to Vault Holocron. I'm Jonathan and today we will be discussing The Mandalorian. So leave now if you haven't watched Season 2 yet. Okay, so now back to the video where we find out if The Mandalorian takes place before or after the Rebels epilogue. This topic started after the episode titled The Jedi, when Dave Filoni said in an interview with Vanity Fair that the ordering could be more interesting. In the interview, he said, "That's not necessarily chronological. I think the thing that people will most not understand is they want to go in a linear fashion. But as I learned as a kid, nothing in Star Wars really worked in a linear fashion. You do 4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, 3. So in the vein of that history, when you look at the epilogue of Rebels, you don't really know how much time has passed. So it's possible that the story I'm telling in The Mandalorian actually takes place prior to that. Possible. I'm saying it's possible. This isn't confirming or denying anything, especially as Dave Filoni is only a co-creator of the series, and this topic may be yet to be discussed by Lucasfilms themselves until they make some sort of sequel to Rebels. This interview wasn't a fun fact, but an interesting idea to toy with, and that's what I've decided to do today. First, I'm going to briefly run you through the events of the Jedi episode. The episode opens outside of the walls of a mysterious town with guards hunting someone. We then get to see a hooded figure, Ahsoka, sneaking in the dark until she ignites her white blades into each of her enemies. Ahsoka then warns she'll be back in a day and the town should either surrender or face her wrath. At this point, it is unclear why she is attacking them. So after this, we follow Mando, who goes to the town in search of the Jedi, and it's pretty clear that there is something wrong with the town. Mando is called to speak to the magistrate, who quests him with killing the Jedi. Mando soon goes out in search for Ahsoka, and they briefly fight until Mando tells her that he was sent by Bo-Katan. The episode then spends quite some time with Ahsoka, Mando, and Baby Yoda, which is revealed to be called Grogu. It's cool to have a name for him now, although it breaks the Y pattern of Yoda and Yaddle. Anyway, Ahsoka tells Mando that the town is in fact helping the remnants of the Empire. Mando asks Ahsoka to train the child, but she says no, thinking back to her master Anakin, until Mando offers a deal where he helps her free the town. Ahsoka goes there and fights, ripping through her opponents with ease, and rushes to take down the magistrate. This is where Mando comes in and frees the innocents. Ahsoka eventually beats the magistrate, who had been using a Beskar pole, and she asks where Grand Admiral Thrawn is. After this name drop, the scene cuts away. At the end of the episode, Mando offers the child to Ahsoka, but she still refuses and instead quests Mando to go to Tython, where he can then locate a Jedi through Grogu and the Seeing Stone. So first, let's start with the obvious point. If the epilogue has a key scene where Ahsoka meets with Sabine, then where on earth is Sabine in this episode? I'm sure Sabine would have loved to hunt down Thrawn, especially as he was last seen with Ezra, and even if the two had parted, she knows the dangers of him and has personal reasons to want him out of the equation. Also, it's not like Ahsoka needed to go alone, as Mando was a clear help in the episode. You could argue that Sabine is with Ezra and that her and Ahsoka had been successful, but out of the two of them, I think Ezra is better suited to and would want to chase Thrawn. Now I'm going to try to go over the biggest hurdle when saying that The Mandalorian comes after the Rebels epilogue, Thrawn. Without Ahsoka ever meeting the rebels, there isn't as much reason for her to be tracking Thrawn. The rebels are the ones who know that Ezra was with Thrawn and had personal experience fighting him. He may be a big threat, but even then she had never actually met him, fought him, or seen him in Rebels, so wouldn't it make sense for the rebels who are heavily linked with Thrawn to send her after him? Especially as Ezra was last with Thrawn. However, this isn't concrete evidence, as when there is a mastermind as good as Thrawn running the remnants of the Empire, you may generally want to stop him. Plus anyway, we know that Bo-Katan knew where she was, so maybe it was actually Bo-Katan who tipped her off. But Bo-Katan does cause issues with this theory too, as why wouldn't she tell Ahsoka to find Sabine first? The two had met in Rebels, and were both Mandalorians and at least somewhat knew Ahsoka. To combat this though, we don't actually know if Bo-Katan could locate Sabine, and she may not realise that Ahsoka would even know Sabine. Also, I think it's possible that Ahsoka gets some information from Bo-Katan, as they are both hunting down the leaders of the remnants of the Empire. Finally, I'm going to cover the idea that if she had located Sabine and was now searching for Ezra, why hadn't she already found him? I understand that you could argue she had already had, as Thrawn was now out there running the Imperials, but once again, I don't see why Ezra wouldn't come. Plus, why wouldn't she send Mando to Ezra? At the end of the episode, Ahsoka sends Mando to the Seeing Stone, where the child can reach out with the Force to find a Jedi. If she knows about this, and had already met Sabine, then that would beg the question, why not use the stone to draw in Ezra? I understand that you could argue that only a youngling can do it to find masters, but even then, that seems like a cheap excuse, and anyway, Ahsoka could follow Grogu and use him to find Ezra. I know you could argue that Ezra wouldn't be able to get there, or is too far out as he did head towards the unknown regions, but realistically it'd be stupid to not at least try to summon Ezra, and anyway, Thrawn is still having an influence, suggesting their time together is at an end and they are back to roaming around the main part of the Star Wars universe. Anyway, this is what I've been thinking regarding this topic, and is just some theorising. Although there is some points against it, I believe due to the evidence I presented that the Rebels epilogue comes after The Mandalorian, and I can't wait to see what way Lucasfilm chooses to go. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you later at Vault Holocron.